Hello and welcome to the SmartSocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. Today we have Sarah Kimmel. She's at Family Tech on every single app that you've ever seen, and she teaches some incredible stuff about how to be safe, how to be secure, how to be nice online as well. Sarah's joining us here today, and we're going to talk about the newest app. Now, I know that you're thinking, oh wait, my kids are on TikTok, they're Snapchat, they're Instagram, they're doing all this stuff. They're everywhere, Sarah. But the most popular app in the world, the app that went from 0 to 1 million users in the shortest amount of time. I think selling TVs in like the 40s and 50s, it took like 3 years to get 1 million TVs sold. And then all of a sudden things took on. Computers, it took like 2 years. And Instagram, it took like a year for them to get 1 million users. And ChatGPT, I want to say it was like 7 days. Today we're talking about ChatGPT, which is the newest thing. I know some of you parents and educators are thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to cheat. They're going to do all these bad things. Take a deep breath because we're going to show you the positives. But today we have Sarah here. Sarah's going to talk about it from a security standpoint, and we're going to laugh a little bit. We might even throw in a Friends TV show reference or two. If you're a fan, then we love you. And if you're not, you got to go watch that show. Sarah, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you.
Thanks. It's great to be here. I speak fluent Friends quotes, so
I love
we're
that.
Good there. Yeah.
Pivot. Just a quick side note: if you have seen the show, you know that there's one episode where Joey is on the chair and Chandler keeps yelling, "Get up, get up!" And so Joey leaves with the cushions. Sarah has a cushion in the back of her room right now. If you're watching us, it says what does it say?
Cushions are the essence of the chair.
Cushions are the essence of the chair. Give them back. Now, some of you are giggling. Some of you are like, I don't watch that show. And that's okay. So let's talk about ChatGPT, the newest tool. Let me bring everybody up to a level of, I want to use a couple analogies and we're going to dive into Sarah. Some people are like, when electric bikes were invented, like, wait, everybody's going to gain weight because bicycles now we're lazy. No, you still have to pedal for an electric bike to work. One of my best friends, he writes scripts for Amazon. He's in the film business, but he writes scripts for Amazon products now. And he goes, Josh, look, I used to use a Phillips screwdriver. I was a Phillips screwdriver and I would have to write scripts by hand. And I was good. I was a great Phillips screwdriver, but now I'm a power drill. And Josh, I can still mess it up as a power drill, but I can be so much more efficient and more powerful and faster. I still need to use my hands and stuff, but I pull that trigger. ChatGPT helps me write that script, come up with ideas, brainstorm, and it is the world's best assistant. So I do want some of you to understand that some students will be using this as a tutor. They will be using it as, hey, I don't understand this math problem. Please teach me. ChatGPT will give them the answer. There are cheating opportunities, but just like you can cheat on an electric bike, you can cheat with a power drill. There's still a lot you have to do to cheat, and you might learn along the way while you're cheating, which kind of fixes things. These are all my opinion, but we want to embrace that. Sarah, talk to us about ChatGPT from a security standpoint. Give us the pros, the cons, and bring us up to speed.
Sure. So one of the key indicators of a spam email or a scam email was the poor grammar. And with ChatGPT, that we are seeing is so much more improved, and these scam emails look so much more legit. And so it's a lot easier to fall for them because the English is perfect. It's saying exactly what we're supposed to hear or supposed to feel, and we are falling for it at an alarming rate.
So interesting. I was in a leadership organization. It was like an 8-week program, and we had to buy a cake for our graduation. And I was in charge of the cake. I went to Costco, ordered this huge cake for 50 people, and it was called Citizens Academy. And I was like, wait, do we put an apostrophe on citizens? I went to ChatGPT in the cake division area, and I said, if I were to write Citizens Academy on this blah, 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 blah for this leadership organization, do I use an apostrophe? And it taught me, no, here's why, here's what you should write. And it was right there in my hip pocket, and it helped me with my grammar, right? Which I think I'm pretty good at, but it was, so it's so interesting. So tell us, some of these nefarious people overseas who are saying, hey, I'm with the IRS, or go buy gift cards for this, or do this stuff, and they prey on the elderly. My father, they tried to prey on him. They prey on people. What's a few tips you might have for people to A, not be preyed on, and B, Are there any other tips on how to notice when some of these emails who look really good, what we should look out for?
Yeah, so the main thing to look out for in an email is how it makes you feel. So if I read an email and my heart starts racing and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? And it makes me want to react right away. I really need to step back and breathe and think about what the email is asking me to do. Because again, it's not going to be as obvious with the grammar. It's going to sound extremely legit now. So that feeling, so I always recommend stop, breathe, and think, okay, what is the email asking me to do? Now, if it's an email, say, from my friend actually literally just sent me an email this morning. It said it was from Geek Squad. Thank you for your payment. It was like, an exorbitant amount of payment. Thank you for your payment from Geek Squad. There's no links in the email. It's just a phone number. Like, hey, if you have any questions about this invoice, give us a call. And so, again, people are thinking, oh, okay, well, there's no links to click. This has got to be legit. I have to call somebody, but you call the number and they're like, oh, okay, what's your credit card number? And we'll look it up. We'll look up your account by your credit card information. And then you're giving them over that credit card information. So the best thing to do is if it says it's from a typical brand, go to that brand's website. Type in Geek Squad invoice into Google and see if there's anything directly from bestbuy.com. Make sure you're only going to the main URL of the company. So it says bestbuy.com. It says, don't fall for this Geek Squad email that says you have an invoice. So just go outside of the email platform, look it up, say if it's like this with an invoice says thank you for your payment, go outside, check your bank accounts. Is there any pending payments for that amount? Oh, okay, there's not. This is not legit.
Excellent tip. Also, parents as well. We've heard some parents like Googling that and saying Best Buy or Geek Squad invoice. Some of those ads that come up first, some of the nefarious people are buying that ad space like my dad did. He clicked on one of those ads.
Absolutely.
Talk to a family member about how do we go down to the natural stuff, which is more in line with so a nefarious person can't buy that ad for $1 and try and get access to you. But I love your tip, Sarah. Don't click on anything in there. Go to the website, just like Bank of America might say. Go to bankofamerica.com and type it in old school or call the number on the back of your credit card. I have my credit cards in here, but call the number on the back of your credit card.
I'm like,
right?
That's your phone. It's not your credit card.
I know. That's a great tip. Are there any other safety and security tips now that these people are starting to get better at writing those emails? And for those of you listening right now, if you're an educator or a parent, ChatGPT isn't bad. Good tools can be used in bad ways, right? The screwdriver can be used to take your car apart to steal your car. It doesn't make the screwdriver bad. It just means it's a more powerful tool now.
Right.
What are some other tips for families?
Yeah, well, like you were saying with I call that SEO hacking. I don't know if that's an official word. It could be. I don't think I made it up myself, but the SEO hacking, because it doesn't even have to be an ad. Sometimes they have gotten themselves to that first and second point just on their own. So I see this a lot of times with actually ticket sales. So if I'm buying a ticket to, say, Taylor Swift concert, and I type in Taylor Swift tickets, and the first few will be resale sites, even if it's the actual first result, past the ads, even if it's the first result. So what I always do is, again, go directly to the website. So I will go to gunsandroses.com and go to their tour and click the link there to get tickets. Or if it's, we actually have that experience. I live in a very small town. We have a rodeo every year, and there's tickets to the rodeo, and the tickets to the rodeo are like $11, right? And people were posting on the city Facebook page, hey, I went to buy tickets to the rodeo and they're $75 a piece. You're like, no, you Googled Lehigh Rodeo tickets and you clicked on a resale site. Because, if you go straight to LehighRodeo.com, and then go to the tickets, you'll see they are $11. So it's really important to look and see exactly what URL you are clicking on, and it'll say it right there. It'll have the title, and right underneath that, it'll say the URL that you're going to. So make sure it's official website. So gunsandroses.com, friends.com. I don't know if Friends has their own website, but going to those official URLs, because whatever is before the .com is what's important. Anybody could put like google.sarahkimmel.com, and that's not Google. That's sarahkimmel.com. So, pay attention to what's right before the trailing, it's called a like TLDR.
So I think you said something really interesting for anybody listening to this right now. Sarah said, pay attention to how they make you feel. I know we're talking a little bit about ChatGPT and some of these nefarious people are getting better, but what I think that was $1 million tip, $1 million tip. And here's why. When they tried to hurt my father by saying, because my dad, I was very busy a few months ago, and my dad wanted to, I'm pointing to my printer, my dad wanted to take his HP printer and connect it to his computer. I always tell him, just call me, I'll do it over the phone. But, we all get busy. And he's like, I don't want to bother you. So I Googled HP printer help, and up came a number where they said, oh, sir, you have a virus. And here's what they did to him. And Sarah, what you just said is a really good tip, because they made my father feel less than, and they forced him. My dad said, I'm going to wait for my son. I don't think I want to give you access to the computer and stuff. And this is going sideways, he said.
Smart dad, dad.
And they said, what, you can't make a decision on your own? You need other people, your son? And they belittled him. And he let them a little bit further. But then he went, you know what, sir? I don't like your attitude. My dad he pushed back on them. And then they pushed back, and he said, no, I know what I'm doing. You guys are being mean. And he just hung up on him and turned his computer off. By that time, they had zoomed into his computer or used TeamViewer, which wasn't great, but we got it in time. So the point is, what Sarah just said about how are they making you feel, a true customer service person at a big company will never belittle your family or you. They will always go, hey, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I understand. And we're going to make it right. Is there another tip on some trends that you're seeing on how they're gamifying some of these things they call it, what is it called? It's social engineering, making you feel bad or taking you places.
Well, social engineering is I could do a whole thing about social engineering, but mainly it's using your social profile against you. So my typical example is you're an employee at a company, you have a LinkedIn profile, it says the other employees at the company, so they can basically guess who your boss is based on your title and your boss's title. And then they'll create a Google account with your boss's name. They'll send you an email with your boss's name, say, hey, and then again, this is where ChatGPT can really help them craft a very convincing email. Hey, I'm stuck in this meeting and I need to talk to, I need to send gift cards to this person, help me out here, and you're like, oh, that's my boss. He needs me right away, and we've even had people who have sent checks to people that, or changed numbers on a routing, somebody was doing a payment and somebody called them or emailed them and had them change the routing information for that payment. And so, these are house payments and things like that. These are huge payments. And so they'll use that social engineering against you and be like, oh, okay, I know who your boss is. I know who your coworkers are. Hey, I already talked to Sarah and she said that I should reach out to you and make sure that you get this done, and blah, 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 blah. And you think, oh, this is my boss. I got to do it. I have to do this right away. It's my boss asking me. And then that's how a lot of people get scammed these days, through that kind of social engineering. The other half of that social engineering is if you are filling out quizzes. And so I have a Facebook account and it wants to know all about my high school year, or my senior year of high school. And I talk about my mascot and everything like that. Well, I'm giving away password reset question answers in that questionnaire or quiz or whatever, I'm giving away all of my password reset questions. So what I like to do is my A, I don't do those quizzes. And B, all of my password reset questions are not actual answers to the question. So say it's asking for my father's middle name. I don't use my father's actual middle name. I have a fake middle name that I use for my father's middle name. And then that way it's not look upable. Somebody can't look up and see who my father is and what his middle name is because I've used something that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, that's really smart. A lot of people I've heard are using password managers, and they'll take notes of what were the 4 security questions, and they're unique for that service. And then they have it in the notes. Hold on one sec. Let me see how to answer those. And they'll go into their notes and they'll go, It's this word for all 4 of them, because they set up a special word that's harder to hack. Yeah, I love that. I have one more question for you before we depart. What's something that you would tell parents to talk to their kiddos before they jump on ChatGPT, an app like that, to keep their family safe? What's a guiding principle with all your security background that you would tell families?
I mean, really just asking questions isn't necessarily going to open you up to any security holes. However, I have seen that people's questions have been able to be viewed by other people through ChatGPT. And so if you're asking really specific personal questions that could lead back to you, then that's not a good thing, because those questions could be out there for other people to view. So I wouldn't put any like really personal things into ChatGPT just to keep yourself safe.
Yeah, because we don't know who on the other side of that are reading anything. Just like your Google results, leave a trail of like, here's your past search results. It does show up. That's a great tip. Sarah, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. For the rest of you who are watching or listening, ChatGPT isn't the end of the world. It's going to be great. We're still all trying to figure it out. So please consider not pushing it off, but rather embrace it a little bit, get to know it. This is a long-term game plan. You don't learn physics in one class. You learn it over 6 months. And just like a class like that, let's open our minds just a little bit, try it out. I promise you it'll be fun. Thanks for listening to the SmartSocial.com podcast. We'll see you on the next episode. And as always, remember to keep it light, bright, and polite online, because your kids are watching. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the SmartSocial.com podcast with this week's topics. We invite you to join the SmartSocial.com VIP program. As a very informed parent VIP member, you will learn about the dangers and benefits of social media for your kids and get tips every week to keep your family safe online, and most importantly, to teach your students how to shine online. We have over 130 detailed app guides that cover apps like TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, and 100 plus apps you might not have heard of, but your students may have visited or downloaded. Find out more and join today at smartsocial.com/VIP. Please remember to rate, subscribe, and review so we can continue to help more parents and educators just like you. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. As always, remember to keep it light, bright, and polite. We'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day.